Hey guys, I am pretty sure that you are studying well and you are having an awesome time. In this part, I'm going to just directly come to the topic. In this part, what we have to learn. If you remember, up to the last part, we have done a lot of things about four kingdoms. We are just left with the last kingdom, which is Kingdom Animalia. And we have to learn a beautiful explanation about a detailed explanation of it. So all the parts that you will be watching from now, they will be all about animals. So let's not start. Let's not waste time and then start learning. Okay, I'm gonna just share my screen and let's start. Okay, so I'm gonna put this presentation on the full screen, guys, and let's start it up. Okay, so the first thing before starting about the animal kingdom, I told you this in the very initial part also that these are the things that I'm telling you for the animal kingdom only. So here also I'll be telling you, but you consider that will be a revision. Okay, okay. So that point was actually the basis of classification. Now, if you see today, we will be learning about an introduction of the animal kingdom and on which basis we do classify them. So these are the points that we have covered already, and it'll be only a revision, and that's fine. It's just, you will remember it better. And then we will be covering the known chordates, which are the known invertebrates. Into that, we are going to cover two, what do we say, categories, which is Porifera and Cnidaria. Cnidaria, they are also known as Colenterates. So let's start. The first thing about the kingdom animal. I mean, if we think about all the kingdom animal, doesn't matter that's in the water or on the land. We all are multicellular. We have a specific way or mode of nutrition. And then we are mobile. We can move from one place to another place. If I talk about the lower animals, there are many lower animals which move in certain stage of life, but then in another stage they cannot move. But in any stage you will see them moving. Okay, they don't have the cell wall, so cell wall absent. These are the general points, guys, I'm telling you, because we have to learn a lot about the kingdom animals, and we know that there are two broader categories. One is known chordate and one is chordate. Okay, shall I explain there? Okay. I'll tell you that later. So the two broader category, you just need to know the name that there are two broad category of kingdom Animalia. One is known chordate and one is chordate. And this, I mean, we are going to learn. We will be learning actual details of them. So let's start here. So the first revision I will say is basis of classification. Let me remind you up there, when I started talking about the cellular respiration, I mentioned few points including mode of nutrition, autotroph and heterotroph. And then I mentioned about the organization of the body, which include cell, tissue, organ and organ level. Level of organization will be a better word to use. Cell, tissue, organ and organ system. Okay, so the next point, into the cell tissue organ, I gave you examples also that into the cellular level, there are porifera, into tissue level, there are coelentrates, and then rest of them, they are all just having organ system and more than that. Okay, so the next point is body symmetry. Let me see what content I have here, then accordingly I'll speak. Okay, so the next one is body symmetry. So as a reminder, let me tell you in the body symmetry, I mentioned asymmetrical. Okay, and asymmetrical, radial symmetry, sorry. Radial symmetry and bilateral symmetry. Okay, so the next one was actually germinal layer. On the germinal layer, I have added a picture also. And then there is a coelom. About the coelom, there are three categories. One is acoelomate, where body cavity is absent. As a reminder, I told you that body cavity is always covered up by the mesodermal layer. If mesodermal layer is not covering the body cavity, then in that case, we call it as the pseudocoelomates. Pseudocoelomates and true coelomate or eucoelomates. Okay, so with the germinal layer, these are embryonic germinal layer, that when the organism is in the embryonic stage, it is going to develop to form different body part. So initially it is divided into 3 layers or 2 layers. On the basis of that, they are of 2 types. One is diploblastic and one is triploblastic. So into the diploblastic, ectoderm and endoderm is present, but additionally they can have the mesoglia, which is the fluid filled thing. And to the triploblastic, ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm is present. And you see, okay, nothing. Yeah, and you see, we have a picture here. So into the triploblastic, they say that coelom is on both sides. This is covered up by the mesoderm. This is true coelomate. Okay. So now this is diploblastic cnidarian, triploblastic platyhelminthes, and triploblastic echinoderm mollusk. If you see the category, dear, this is triploblastic acoelomate, that these are triploblastic, but they don't have any body cavity. And this is trilomates, where true body cavity is present, which is covered up by the mesoderm on both the sides, and echinoderms, mollusk, and all the chordates come under this one. Okay. So the next one is metamerism. Metamerism is not a way of classifying, but in certain category like annelids, like even in arthropod, in certain of nemathelminthes also, certain segmentation is present. But a proper segmentation is present into the annelids. Segmentation also known as metamerism. This is like metameric segmentation. So this is like linear series of repeated part, that the body part is repeated like this. The interesting part is that your body organs are also repeated. Like there can be 13 hearts in certain organisms. So heart, a little part is also repeated. Reproductive system is also repeated because it's, you know, separated by septa, which we call it as a chamber. A septum is there, a wall is there, which is separating the chamber. So yeah, one more thing, this one unit is known as metamer, body segment or somite. And each being formed in the sequence in the embryo from anterior to posterior. I was talking about the arthropod. Into the arthropod, they do not have the segmentation like very visible. It's like in the lower part, you will see in certain area only metamerism is present. So this is also a point of classification. Okay, so we will be talking about known chordate now, but 2 points striking me up that you can remember regarding the basis of classification. Okay, so do I have a space? Okay, I'll write it with the metamerism only. So one basis of classification is circulatory system. And then another one is digestive system that you have to remember. If you see me today a little noon smiling, that's because that's Monday I'm recording on. It's Monday face. Okay, so circulatory system, this is basically of 2 types, open circulatory system and closed circulatory system. Open circulatory system means when the organs are bathing in blood. There is heart, but no blood vessels. Organs are bathing in blood. And here, proper heart, blood vessels, and proper heart, blood vessels, and okay, heart, blood vessels, and no. Actually, I was talking about the blood, but blood thing is also present. Blood is just a transporting system, which is also there in the open circulatory system. So you cannot use that word because it's just a conducting medium, because in open circulatory system, not always blood is present. Some transporting fluid is present, like in cockroach, you do not see any red blood, but fluid is there, which we call it as the hemofluid, that is present. They also have the respiratory pigment. Now, let me just revise it up. Circulatory system is of 2 types, which is open and closed. For example, there is a proper water tank in your home. There is water pipeline with a valve for opening and closing. Wherever water is needed, pipes are moving up into the kitchen, into the washroom, into the garden, wherever. And then there is another case where there's no water pipe system. You may consider in any village, and there is a water tank. Whoever needs the water, they just take it directly from there. The first case is the closed circulatory system, where the water tank is hard, all the pipeline is blood vessels. Wherever blood is needed, just moving, and all the home part, they are just the organs. Open is the one which is the village one, that the organs are bathing in blood. So the water tank is the heart, and organs are directly in contact with the heart. They are not. There's no any blood vessels thing present. The next one is circulatory system. Sorry, the next one is digestive system. It is of two types. One is open and one is closed. Okay, so the open, if you see my smile, that's a stupid one. By mistake, I write open and closed. It is complete and incomplete. How stupid of me. And I'm cutting like a kid. Complete and incomplete digestive system. Into the incomplete digestive system, there's just one opening present on the body surface, which is for the entry and for the exit. Through that only all exchange happen. For example, I talk about Colenterates. I talk about Porifera. And then complete are like, you know, a proper mouth and anus. You may say separate opening are present for the entry and for the exit. All the chordates. I don't have to tell you about this. We are the one. My point is, guys, here, while you're learning about basis of classification, you will hear many names that you will feel like, oh my God, that's Porifera, Colenterate, platyhelminth. That's so weird name. That's so hard to difficult. But the only suggestion is that learn example first and see them in real life. Obviously, you are using internet. I mean, you can just see it online. So once you see the animal, you remember it. I guarantee. Okay. So these are all the bases of classification. And I suppose we are done on this. Now, the next thing that we have to talk about is known chordate and chordate. One point that you have to remember, guys. Known chordate are further classified into many of the category. I had to show you that classification pattern first. I have not added in the presentation, but that's fine. I'll make you wait just for 30 seconds to add that up. But till the time, let me just explain you this thing first. How come we classify known chordate to chordate? There are actually 2-3 things which are present. One is notochord. One is nerve cord. And one is pharyngeal gill slit. I will repeat this thing while I start about the chordate also. And then post-anal tail. You know, these are few things which are differentiating a chordate from the non-chordate. Into the first thing, see, I'm going to explain you this thing in the chordate part once I start talking about them, because talking now, you will not able to get it. So once we talk it there, you will be able to get it. But the most important point, which is the point of difference between non-chordate and chordate, is notochord. In simple language, we have always been learning like it a backbone. Backbone is the vertebral column. Notochord is actually immature form of vertebral column. कि ये बड़ा होके vertebral column बनेगा. तो notochord is the simple vertebral column. This is comparatively the softer one, but not that much. So this is like a road-like elastic structure that supports the body. Throughout the body, it is present. And this phylum consists of a small group of worm-like marine species with an organ system level of organization. He's talking about the known chordate. Into the known chordate, this notochord is not present. Notochord is the supporting thing which is present on the back. Now, rest of them are also present into the chordate. So I'll explain it into the chordate only, but for now, just remember these things are not present into the invertebrate. Now I'm going to talk about all the categories, but before that, as I told you, I'm going to add a picture to show you classification that I really forgot to add. So I'm going to stop the screen share and you have to bear my face for a few seconds. So I'm going to add, what do I have to write? Animal classification chart. The simplest one. Okay, that's a good one. Let me see if I can have another. No. Chalo, theek hai, that's fine. I've got it. Nahi, theek hai, I'll just put the one that I've added. Hold on for a second. At least you will be able to understand, and then you will feel, you know, related to the class, whatever you are learning. You know what, guys? My suggestion. As I was saying that for learning anything in bio, you should learn example first, and then you will be able to, learn everything. Second suggestion is that whatever topic you're going to learn, no matter it's math, science, geography, whatsoever, whatever topic you start, before starting the topic, understand it, what this topic is all about. It's like, suppose you're entering 10 minutes late in the class, and then you're randomly going in the class, and then it takes 5 to 10 minutes to connect to the topic. It takes 5 to 10 minutes to understand what teacher is teaching. That is going on. So that feeling should not happen. Before you start teaching or learning any topic, now you should connect it. That we are starting to study about animals, and we are going to study different animals, their classification, why that thing is important. Are you getting my point? Like, you are going to start about the cell, and you directly go in the class and teacher is randomly talking about the mitochondria because you missed the class. You will not be able to connect. If you're missing a class, at least you should know that what topic is going on, what is the importance, and what we are going to learn. And then in between the class also, if you enter, you will be able to connect. That's another tip of the day. Thank you. So the picture that I have added up there is this. I hope you're able to see. Let me see if my screen share is working properly. Okay, that's working properly. Animal kingdom. It's having invertebrate and vertebrate. The vertebral column is actually the notocode. Into the vertebrate category, the notocode is sometime not in all the categories. It's very hard like a vertebral column, but in many of them. But they all have notocode. We also have in certain point of time. But then we grow up and we have the vertebral column. Now into the invertebrate, cellular level, tissue level, and organ level. Into the cellular level, Porifera, and tissue level is Cnidaria. These topic we are going to cover today. Organ level, I'll teach you in the next part, but then organ and organ system include acoelomate and coelomate. Acoelomate is having no body cavity, platyhelminthes and the nematoda. Coelomates are having the true body cavity, which include annelid, arthropod, mollusk, and echinodermids. Now vertebrate, obviously they all are the coelomates, but then vertebrate, and they are having these categories. Class Pisces, Amphibia, Reptilia, they also have two categories actually. I'll explain you once I talk about the chordate only. They have simply wrote it up here. Class Aves, mammals, and then class Pisces, which include the fishes, bony fishes, and the cartilaginous fishes. So these details you will be learning. Today you will be able to cover these topics up, but then don't worry, we are going to learn everything. I'm trying to put the best of the content so that when you see the video, you can clearly understand. I have added video also, so as you can see the examples. So let's start talking about the porifera. Porifera, these are the sponges, not the sponges that you use for the bathing, but the concept is same, the way they make it in the market. That's artificial one, but these are the actual sponges which are living. These pores are the one through which water is taking entry. The basic body design is like this. Water is taking entry from here only and exit from here. But then on throughout the body, small pores are present through which water is moving. This water is the one that helps in everything. It helps in excretion, circulation, digestion, not the movement, but yeah, movement also. Poriferans, if you're talking about the property, first you know that these are the acoelomates. Incomplete digestive system. Now you will be able to relate it now if you see. One interesting point, when they are present into the juvenile phase means the baby phase. They are mobile, means they can move from one place to another place. But when they get adult, they are sessile. Sessile means fixed at one place. They're fixed at one place. Now, a further property is they are actually unicellular, but then these cells are present together. Lot of cells are present together that look like an aggregate. So there are cell aggregates. And these cells are also modified. All the cells are modified to do certain function. That certain cells are helping to grasp the food, other are helping to repair the body, other are helping to excrete the waste product, everything. Even they have the protective mechanism also. External to the body, the cells, they used to have little spikes kind of thing into them so as to protect them. In biological term, we call it as the spicules. Sorry, that's SP, spicules. Okay, so if you're talking about the property, you can write this thing up. And if I talk about the body symmetry, that's not a proper one. So asymmetry. Why I always mess up with the spelling of asymmetry, sorry. Okay, so the next thing that you will say, excuse me for the background sound. Acoelomate, incomplete, juvenile phase. Yeah, they are the simple one. They are the marine. Let me see your notes if we left with anything. You're not left with anything. But one thing that they have written that the cells are present together, they are not like a tightly attached. They are a little loosely attached. That's why they make the pores. And examples you see, sponges. Other examples are also there. I'm going to tell you that. So these are the property that's written there, sponges. They are mostly marine, few are freshwater, they are sessile and fixed in one place when they are adult. But when they are present in the juvenile phase, then they can move. Cells are loosely arranged at cellular level of organization. Animals are diploblastic with outer ectoderm and inner endoderm held with jelly-like mesoglea, which is actually the fluid thing. Now, let me give you the examples. Example includes spongilla. I have a very, very beautiful video with this. Cycone and Euplectella. If I talk about the body design now, body design used to have the opening. To the opening, we call it as the osculum. And then there is a basic body design, which is fixed. Then small pores are present onto the body. These pores are known as ostia. Singular, we call it as the ostium. Through the ostium, water takes entry. This ostium is covered up by some flagellated cells. Like their body is used to be having the flagellated cells throughout. Why I did not add picture for that? I need to upload a picture for that. It's fine if you wait. Basic body design. Porifera, basic. You know, there is a thing which is known as basic body design. Basic body design means there are n number of organisms into this category, but then they all have some basic thing in it. So that thing is known as basic body design. If you're learning about any category, you can search basic body design thing. Okay, I suppose you can see this picture. Let me confirm it. Okay, dear, so that's a basic body design of Porifera, that throughout the body pores are present in the central cavity is known as spongiocele. Seal word is actually used for the cavity. This is osculum. Onto the body, these pores are present, ostia singular and plural. Okay, so then different cells I was telling about, these are the silica spicules. I was saying the spikes are present. So the cells are having it to, so as to, prevent strength to the body. And these cells are present into the different design. As I was telling you that there are flagellated cells. These cells are known as choanocyte. Flagellum, collar cell, microvilli to increase the surface area and the nucleus. So it's like a modified cell. There's so many cells present in the body which are not tightly packed, but they all are designed in different way to work. The flagellated one is help in propelling the water, taking the food in, all kind of movement is done, internal movement is done with the help of them. Okay, so the basic base part is known as hold fast, as in with the help of which it is attached to the ground. I think that's all about the Porifera. All we are left with is little video. So let me start the new screen share and let me show you. Actually, in this video, I have to show you nothing. I have to show you real examples and how fluid is moving in it. As I was saying that through the ostia, water is moving in, and through the osculum, it's taking exit. And through the osculum also sometime water again, not sometime, but yeah, that happens. So in this video, there are people who are into the sea. They are the divers and they are using the fluorescent dye. Sponges are very effective filter and I mean, they're the filter feeder. They do not take the macroscopic food. They just take the bacteria as much larger, but then they filter it up. I think you can just read this information. Sponges can pump water. On a reef of Caribbean, I make a dye with a syringe filled with known toxic dye called fluorescent dye. So he will be putting it through this pores, ostia, and how beautifully, now you will see how it is coming out. Within a second, it is moving out through the osculum. So this is the place where excretion happened. With only 1 second, dye is pumped out through the sponge along with the water. How beautiful it's under the water. You see. As you see, a sponge is pretty good water pump. Any plankton that does go into with the water won't come out because they are the filter feeder. So tube sponges are even more spectacular. These are the tube one. I don't have to speak anything because I know you might be enjoying this video. They pump the dye so furiously that they look like a collection of miniature smoke stacks. How nice, no? You see, that's a big one, big monster like this. That's a bigger sponge. Now it is going to come out. This will look beautiful. Yes, through the osculum. And the collar cell. Actually, collar cells are another name of choanocyte. The cell I was talking about, that's choanocyte. That's internally into the body that's present, which is helping the, the structure, any fluid and thing which is present to help out. And how into the, under the sea, it's pumping out against gravity. Isn't it? It's beautiful. I suppose we are done with the video, aren't we? Okay, so let's come back and let's talk about the next category, which is coelentrates. Coelentrates. This is also known as Cnidaria, the one that has shape like this. You must have seen in the many of the cartoons. Structure like this, not the jellyfishes. Are they having the jellyfishes? Actually, some considered lower organism, but for the jellyfishes also we have made a separate category. And that we call it as the Ctenophora comb jellies. But anyways, Cnidaria coelentrate that has organism like this. And consider them into this category for now, because in higher grade you will be learning that. Cnidaria and coelentrates, another name. They have two design. If you look at the basic design is same. I'm going to show you real picture. These are the real picture. This one cannot move, this is attached, and this one can move, this is not attached. But if you look at the basic body design externally, they have this structure, we call it as the tentacle. These are the tentacle are very sensitive to any kind of touch or water, these are, what do we say? The sensory organ of them. This is the mouth and the anus, because they have the incomplete digestive system. That's aquatic, that's into the marine. The very external layer of the body is known as epidermis, from ectoderm that is formed, and then mesoglea, they are the diploblastic one. Then the internal cavity of the body is the gastrovascular cavity. Okay, so the internal layer of the body is gastrodermis, that is formed from the endodermis. This is the cavity, gastrovascular cavity. In last case, in Porifera, we were calling it as the spongiocele. In this case, we are calling it as the gastrovascular cavity. Mesoglea is situated between the epidermis and the gastrodermis, and thin in polyp and thick in medusa. Guys, let me tell you one thing. Cnidarians are present in two forms, polyp and medusa. The left one is a polyp, which is attached, and medusa is on the right side, which is not attached, and it can just randomly move from here to there. But then the basic body design is same, which is tentacle, mouth, and incomplete digestive system. And the same thing is there. Same thing. Now let's take a look at this one. Now you will be able to understand. The special property in some of the Cnidarian is that they show bioluminescence, that they shine in the light like a worm. So these are the property. These are aquatic, mostly marine. They are solitary, or they just remain in colony. And each individual is known as zooid. Body is obviously radial symmetry. You cut it into the two halves. I don't have to tell you these technical terms now, because into the basis of classification, I mentioned everything. Sessile form are known as polyp, and free living form are known as medusa. 1 or 2 or even 3 marks question that you can have in your paper is, what is the difference between polyp and medusa? And I'm pretty sure that you can easily write it now. Cells are organized into the tissue. They have tissue level of organization. Animals are diploblastic, that they have the mesoglia also, which is separating the two layers. I have shown you. So that's why I've shown you the basic structure. Again, I repeat, learning the real life picture and the basic body designs are really very easy, you know, then you will be able to understand. And learning example is the prior thing that you will be doing. As I told you in the sponges also and here also. Sorry, I did not mention it, but I have mentioned the jellyfish. So the scientific name of jellyfish is Aurelia. And then there is Hydra also that belong to it. Hydra is the one that you have been learning since your lower grades, that they show budding formation, they reproduce it by this way, Hydra only. They also have the tentacles above, if you remember. They all have different way of reproduction. Now, one more example is Phacelia. To the body have a single opening, which is known as hypostome. In last case, we were talking about the osculum. In this case, the opening of the body here, this is known as hypostome. And in this case here, hypostome. Fine. Okay. So one thing that you have to remember is that Cnidaria have been, this word have been, you know, come from the word nidocyte. Cyte means cell. Nidocyte are actually stinging cells. They have a chemical in it which is paralyzing. With the help of nidocyte, they'll be just, you know, taking body out and just catching up the prey and releasing the chemical into them. Even that's lethal. So they have the stinging cells, nidocytes. Let me see if we are left with anything. No, we are not left with anything. And nidocytes just work with the help of tentacles. Okay, so we are done with the Cnidaria also. As I told you, I'm going to show you video. So hold on for a second. There is a video for you. In this video, actually, I have shown the pictures of the animals that are coelenterates. Just a 1 minute and 21 seconds. In this video, no content, nothing. It is just that they are showing it up that this is how it's working. Jellyfishes and everything. They are stinging. And that reminds me of some web series called Friends. Jellyfish's tongue. Anyways, see, this is bioluminescence occurring in them. How beautiful. Tentacles. That's what I'm saying. Animals are beautiful out there. If you see them, you learn example, and then you will love to read about them. Diversity is the chapter students are really scared of, but I don't think you should be scared of. You see how beautiful it's underwater, the life. Amazing. That's why I say bio is the life science, and that's the only subject that's real to life. So why not enjoy it? You see? Palm jellies, the one that you were watching now, this one, not this one. Yeah, this one. This one is actually known as calm jellies. It appears to be like a calm. Hold on for a second. Let me just write it. We call it as calm jellies. Once you will be learning this topic, we have a separate category of calm jellies. We have put it, and then coelenterate have just another form. Anyways, for now, just remember this, do not get confused. And I think now we are done with this. Let's move back and let's practice some questions. Now, guys, if you have any doubt, just throw it up on the discussion board. I suppose we have done so much of it. We have learned basis of classification. We have learned all the points. Once you learn basis of classification, learning all the points are not so difficult, I tell. Learn example and then you will be able to write. I get it. On what basis are plants and animals put into different categories? I don't have to give you an example of it, but you should think about it. The most fundamental consideration is absence of a cell wall and then mode of nutrition, autotroph and heterotroph. On what basis? Why did I add it? Okay, I moved back, sorry. Will advanced organisms be the same as complex organisms? No. Yes. Yes. Complex organisms are the same as because of their multiple cell arrangement, how their body design is there, because we are the complex one, we are the advanced organism. We do have a proper organ system arrangement. So there will be organ and organ system arrangement. and there is division of labor among them. Division of labor among all the organ system of the body. Now let's move forward. Porifera are unicellular but appears to be big. I have not added answer to this question, but answer to this question will be they used to be present in the form of aggregates, that the all cells are present together, which is loosely packed, but they are modified cells. And then you can literally give example of the cell, that is ostia is there, then osculum is there, and then collar cells, which we call it as the choanocytes. And then there were cell which were producing the spicules, the spikes one. So different cells are there. Go back to the diagram and then you see there are different type of cell which are working in a different way. They appear to be big, but then it's not like the different one cell is separate. They are working and helping each of them together. Clear? Good. Give examples of organisms with different symmetry. Different symmetry, as in, you know, that there are two types of symmetry. One is asymmetrical one, and then there is radial symmetry. And then there is bilateral symmetry. Into the asymmetrical one, you can talk about the poriferans. Into the radial one, you can talk about the starfish. You can talk, starfish we have not learned so far, but you should know that starfish belong to echinoderm. And echinoderm have some special into them. I'll mention it once I talk about echinoderm only. And then you can talk about coelenterate. Into the bilateral one, you can just say that, you know, many of the chordates, they are having the bilateral symmetry. So yeah, with this, we are done with this. With this, we are done with this. I repeat myself. And throughout the time, you had this weird background on your side. I'm so sorry for this, guys. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. Thank you so much for watching the video. And I'll tell the editor to cut it up. Bye. Thank you. If that thing is not done, don't mind it. It's very hard because I literally did in the video part. Bye.